So here's my step-by-step of how I was able to condense hundreds of pages of PDF documents down to one-page summary notes so that by the end of my semester, instead of studying 500 pages, I was only studying 5. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Praise. I am starting med school, just started yesterday, but I went through undergraduate with a 3.96 out of 4.0 GPA using this as one of my main study tactics. And so I want to show you exactly how I was able to do it. So to do this, we're going to go through an example and I'm going to walk you through all the different components along with how I was able to do it step by step. So this is an example of the one that I did for module 2 of my reproduction class in 4th year. As you can see, it's pretty comprehensive. It has everything. And for reference, this is the PDF document that we had to learn from. And as you can see right down here, it is 102 pages. So step 1 is to read whatever information they've given you. If it's a lecture, go to the lecture, read those lecture slides, and then annotate, highlight things, write things in the margin after the professor's talked in class, whatever you need to do, put it on this document. Don't do more work than you need to by rewriting things. Just do that. Now, once you've gone through all that information, now you want to start making this document. This document is a summary document, meaning that you're going to take everything, put it in your own words, and then spit it back out onto paper. So I usually do it in horizontal form because you can make more boxes. It's just a little bit more easy for your organization. You want to put your title on one side, whether you like it on the left or the right. I evidently like it on the left. And then next to it, I would put a box. This box was for in-class information that perhaps the professor would give after the fact, or if it was like another example that wasn't in my notes. So for example, here I have some screenshots. You can also use this box if you have questions that you want to ask your professor at a later date so that you have them with your notes and they're readily accessible. Next, you want to use definitions. The key here is to not just write the definition straight from the lecture. You want to summarize them. As you can see, all of my definitions are super short and they're in a way that would sit well with my head. If somebody else was to read this, it might not make it would make sense, but it might not be the best definition for them. This is the definitions that worked best for me as the reader. Next, you want to figure out how you can bucket all your information. By putting it into boxes, you're creating bite-sized chunks for you to study, but more importantly, you're showing how each idea connects to the next. So for here, there were these 3 ideas that then came together to talk about synthesization, or like synthesis basically of those 3 ideas, which is in the bottom box here. That's super important, makes it easier to study, makes it better to look at, and makes you feel as somebody who's studying that there isn't too much to grasp. Furthermore, if you do it on something like GoodNotes, the beauty is that you can write it tiny. So right now it looks tiny, but then you can go ahead, zoom all the way in, and you can go ahead and read all of those ideas. As you can see, I used that like color that I chose, which is this purple blue, to kind of separate ideas, and just create a little bit of division. You can also use lines, kind of how I used here, to separate ideas within ideas. Now, for another example, I'll show you my module 1 notes. Here, again, you can see that I did definitions. I went ahead and used another color again, and use boxes wherever you can. Literally, they help so much. If you can as well, include things about studies. Studies are super important because when you go back to look at something, that study is what's going to help you understand what that topic is. So definitely go ahead and do that. And if there's like a big diagram, you can kind of do what I did here. As you can see, I went ahead and I wrote it in smaller text and then summarized everything as well. Furthermore, if there's something that you forget, stick it up in the box. That's the purpose of it. In this way, I literally went ahead and studied for my entire exam, like my midterm, with just these 2 pages. And then I think there was one more somewhere else as well. And literally, that's all I needed. And I got an A+ in it. So I hope that works for you. Let me know if you have any questions.